This one is for Eureka Math, Engage New York, Module 1, Lesson 26, percent of a quantity. In this one you can solve, we're going to solve problems involving percents. You need to understand, again, the main quality, that percents are out of 100. Then, particularly today, understand that percents are a part-to-whole relationship. You need to identify whether you're trying to find the part-to-whole. Use that. We're going to either use a percent ruler or a giant one to solve these problems, or some other strategies we've talked about. So we're going to look at those different strategies. However you solve these, it doesn't really matter as long as you're getting the correct answer. I encourage you to pause the video, try the problems first, and then use the video to check or get help if you need to. So again, this is for the problem set. Let's go ahead and look at the first problem on here. So as we go over this first one here, we have 15%. What is 15% of 60? I'm going to go over one way we did this, then we'll do it. It says wants to use a model, but 15% of 60. If we go overhead here and do that, we talked about how we can find 10% of a number, 10% of 60. We can find that by just moving the decimal one place over. So if we have 60, move the decimal over, and that becomes just 6. So the decimal just moves one place to the right because we divide by 10. And then if I know 10%, if I take that, divide it by 2, I will have 5%. So that would be 3. So I end up with that. So this would be 5%. So I end up with 10% plus 5% would give me 15%. So 6 plus 3, so 15% up here. This would equal, it's not 15, 9. This would equal 9 because I add those two together. So it would equal 9. 6 from 10% and the 3 from 5%. Let's go ahead and show how we could do that with a tape diagram, or with a percent ruler. With a percent ruler, we draw it out here, and we're going to end up with 0 to 100%, and then 0, and we have 60. We have the whole here, so we know it's 60, and this is 100% down on the bottom. So 0% to 100%. Now, in this case, we want to know 15 can be made up of 5%. So if we figure out what 5% is, 5%, that breaks up 100 into 20 pieces. Okay, so we need to take 60 and divide it by 20. So if we take 60 and divide it by 20, that ends up giving us 3. So that tells us each 5% is 3. So we have 5, 10% would give us 6, and 15% is what we're looking for, would give us 9. So then we could keep going. We get clear up there. Every 5% just gives us 3 more because every 5% is worth 3 more. So we get 9% either way doing those approaches with either our model or using our 10% and half of that to find 5%. Okay, so with this one, 40% of a number is 56. What is the original number? So on one like this, let's go ahead and use our fraction model or giant one to find this one. So 40% of a number is 56. So we know that percent is out of 100, so we put 40 over 100. And we need to somehow get the top. So of a number, this is the part here. So this 56 is the part. And the part is what's on top. It goes with the percent. So we want to get this fraction. So somehow I got to get that here. So if I divide that by 10, I'm just going to simplify my fraction down. 10, that gives me 4 out of 10. And 4 will go into 56. I think I'm just come over here, take 56, divide it by 4, just make sure that's going to go in there one time. 4, yeah, that's going to go in there nicely. So That goes in there 14 times. So we're going to times it by a giant 1 of 14 over 14. And then that ends up being 56 on the top and 140. Whoops, jumped on me. It's like a 9. 140 on the bottom. So the original number was 140. Okay. So our original number was 140 on that one. So we just simplified it and then found the equivalent fraction to 56 over 140 is equivalent to 40 over 100. And that's 40%. So we found an equivalent fraction. We could have done a percent ruler if we would have wanted to. So let's look on this last one. Another model you could use for either one of these would be a 100 grid. We didn't use it that much, but you could also use 100 grids. In a 100 grid, what you do is each square represents 1%, because we have 100 squares, so it's 1 out of 100. But they're saying right here in the 100 grid, the total represents 800. So if we take 800 and divide it by 1, that means each square would be 8. So the quantity in each square would represent 8. So the used grid below to represent 17% and 83%. And if you notice, these two added together would give us 100%. So let's go ahead. If I shaded this first row, that would be 10%. So if I just shade that row in, and then if I shade in 7 more, that would give me 17%. So if I shade in those two rows, that is 17%, and each one of those is worth 8. So I just take 17 times 8. So I know not very good for some of my times tables, but I know 7 times 7 is 49. So you need to add another 7, so that would be 56. So I put down the 6, carry the 5. 8 plus 5 would be 13. So 136. So that's what 17% of 800 is. Okay. Now let's go ahead here, and there's other methods you could use to check that. Now this one we would shade in each one of these 10s rows, so there would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and then we need 3 more, so that'd be 83. So we shaded in that, so that's 83% shaded in. And 83, we have 83 times 8. Each one of those is worth 8. So we have 24, so that would be, carry the 4, carry our 2 up there. So 8 times 8, I know 8 times 4 is 32, so I double that, would give me 64 plus 2 would give me 66. So I end up with 664. Now these are, since the percents add up to 100, these should add up to 800. Again, I'm just checking, make sure I did everything right, because these should add up to 800. So 0, 1, 6, 10, 0, 1. So if I add those up, I do get 800. So that lets me know, just to get another check. But again, you can use percents. Every 1% is equal to 8. So if you want to find 17%, you just times it by 8. And this is a strategy that works for anything. Remember, to find 1%, we just move the decimal over 2 places. So this is a strategy that you can use anytime. Just find 1% and times it by 17 if you want to find 17%, or 83 if you want to find 83%. And that's a strategy that you can use almost all the time. Okay, good luck with these. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a good day. Bye.